Mayor Bloomberg, on behalf of all New Yorkers who can now go to work each day without endangering their health and don't have to breathe in toxic smoke just to hold a job, I'd like to present to you this token of our appreciation for your tireless efforts in making New York City safer and healthier home for all of us.
Nobody should have to pick between a job and their health. This morning I was at a bar down on 16th Street where the owner of the bar 10 years ago, to say that he wasn't happy about the law is an understatement. He was very vocal. He fought it and fought it and fought it. Finally, he went along with it, and today is one of the great proponents, and looking back, he would tell you that it really has made a great difference. I think there's something like 6,000 more restaurants today than there were 10 years ago. The number of people that are employed in the industry is up by close to 50%. When we were passing the act, people said, I don't know why they picked these two countries, but they guaranteed nobody from Ireland or Italy will ever come to New York again as a tourist. It was 6 months later when both Ireland and Italy passed their equivalent, and so did France, and so did all these countries where they said, you'll never get them to stop. But in fact, that's exactly what happened. New York led the way, so we've taken care of ourselves, but we've also contributed to our fellow human beings around the world.
Smoke-Free Air Act reminded people that not only does smoking kill, secondhand smoke kills also. And going smoke-free would save lives and wouldn't hurt business. And that's exactly what New York City has found.
I have talked to restaurant owners, even a couple who were opposed to it, and they all indicate that at the worst it hasn't affected business, and for some of them they think it's actually improved business, and so it's a matter of public health both for the customers and maybe even more for the employees of the restaurants.
I'm a lifelong asthmatic, and to be able to go to your job and not have to be just totally consumed with smoke all the time, it really changed my entire life.
I remember one gal, her testimony was, I was taken to St. Luke's Roosevelt Medical Center at 6 o'clock in the middle of a shift and diagnosed with smoke inhalation consistent with being in a fire. And that was just from doing her job. And she represented one of hundreds of thousands of workers in the city exposed to secondhand smoke every single day. It wasn't just something pushed by one or two organizations, but the people, the city, from all walks of life wanted this and got it.
It's benefited everybody in New York. I think in the long run, it not only affects the individual, it affects the employers, it affects the city, it affects the government. It costs a lot of money to keep going to these hospitals, and it's a domino effect.
It'll help drive down our smoking rates by a third over the last 10 years. More than 400,000 fewer smokers than we had in 2002. 1,500 fewer tobacco-related deaths every year. So thousands of people are alive today because of the work we've done on smoking, and this being the centerpiece for all of that. It also has shown that local government, local health departments can take on national health problems and win.
What we did here in New York City rapidly spread through the rest of the state and has saved more lives than probably any other public health intervention in 50 years. Every time New York City does something, it does it in a big way. The world notices and the world benefits.
New York City Smoke-Free Air Act was really the tipping point in the battle for smoke-free air in the United States and really the world. This was the beginning of the wave, and very rapidly after New York, cities and states across the country and indeed across the world started going smoke-free.
We went from a tiny proportion of the U.S. covered to most of the U.S. covered. We went from a tiny proportion of the world covered to more than 1.5 billion people around the world protected from secondhand smoke. And a lot of that was because of the leadership of Mayor Bloomberg. Secondhand smoke is a toxin, and New York City has gotten it out of public spaces. And not only did that help New York City, that changed the world.